With our farm, we collect rainwater off of roof systems. We use these IBC tanks. We've been doing this now for maybe 15 years or so. And over the years, I've learned a lot about this, what works, what doesn't. In this video, what I want to share is basically a don't repeat my mistake question around, hey, what happens when you let an IBC tank stay kind of full in the winter months, especially during a cold winter? I'm going to do a deep dive on what not to do with an IBC tank for the winter. Some things to do before winter sets in. One idea is if your downspout directs to a tank, right now it's all buried under snow, you could do a thing where before things start to freeze, you keep a section of gutter that goes down and away from your structure and completely avoids going into the tank at all. You definitely want to make sure all your tank valves are completely open before you get into the winter months. Those are some practices that are very, very reasonable. And for the most part, most years, with the 10 or 15 of these that are throughout the landscape, we tend to get that right. Here's a tank in our backyard that collects water from a pretty large amount of roof area. Basically, the entire south side of our home directs into that tank. And so not only do I want to make sure that it can freely shed that water and not hold on to it, but we actually want to send it quite a distance. So in the fall, before everything froze, made sure the valve was open. In other words, this little one is running in parallel with the line, and added a nice beefy hose that goes quite a distance. It runs under the snow here, but on the surface of the soil, all the way out past all this crazy debris and nursery related gear, and out to a ditch near the property line so it can shed all the water very, very far away from our structures. And that works well. Best practice definitively is before any sort of deep freeze is going to set in where you live, either redirect your downspout to a more meaningful place away from foundations and structures, or if it's going to stay going into the tank, make sure the tank is open and ideally has a hose that openly goes quite a distance so that when there are thaw events and rain coming in, it can freely escape and not fill the tank. What happens if you screw that up? This is a really simple shed that we built over the summer to hold all the miscellany of farm life. At some point we'll have sheets that hang down in the winter to protect things a little bit more, but it's a very open, simple shed, and it's about 10 feet in this dimension and 22 or so in that dimension. And you can see there's some amount of gutter that goes to an IBC tank over there. This is all new as of this year, and we're just getting up to speed. This is the tank that I messed up on. By all accounts, I think I did things correctly. I left this valve open, so this runs parallel to the line, which means go ahead and stay open. I don't have splitters or anything like that, but I did attach it to this length of hose, which used to go to another set of tanks and was actually buried in the earth and went all the way down to a tank down by that high tunnel. What I think happened is somewhere along the line, that hose got plugged up. Either it got crushed or folded or mud got inside, I don't know, but it didn't freely flow down to that area. And so by all accounts, this tank was not open for releasing fluid as it came in. And so when we got some rain coming in or some thaw on that roof, it went down through the pipe, went into the tank, and this is in a shady spot. It filled and filled and filled, and this is what happened down below. It didn't destroy the tank, but you can see the ice, which is so powerful, just keeps expanding, expanding. The white tank is what holds the water. The metal framework is what supports the white tank. The metal is what is going to take the abuse when you allow these tanks to freeze. So I suspect in the spring this will thaw out. The water will be able to be let out. We'll probably take this off, put on a length of hose that just sends it somewhere to a ditch and release whatever water's in here, and then maybe use some props with cinder blocks and things to get under this metal. But it went through a lot of hurt. In fact, I can hear it achingly bend a little bit more every day when it's freezing cold. So will this tank completely fail and fall off the cinder blocks? Hopefully not, but this becomes a pretty sketchy setup, and I don't think I can really depend on this in the long run. And these aren't free, so it's a great reminder to make sure they can freely vent when it gets below freezing. I've had these tanks get really cold in the past. In fact, I've had them filled with water and over winter freeze kind of. It was a much more mild winter, and it definitely froze. This metal expanded on the top. It lifted and bent the metal up, but the bottom was fine. We still have that tank 8 years later. It's still in service and working. This is the first time it really blew out the bottom. I wonder how it'll be in the spring. It's going to need at least some deep, thorough assessment, some fortifying, and it may need to be brought offline and replaced because of my mistake of allowing the water to leave, but through a hose that's not actually flowing correctly anymore. Anyway, a cautionary tale for someone farming off-grid in a cold climate to you. If you're going to set up IBC tanks or any sort of water holding, make sure before the ground starts to freeze or before you really get into serious cold, maybe it's mid-October, end of October, you endeavor to redirect your downspouts away from the tank or open up the valves at the bottom, attach a hose that sends it quite a distance, and make sure the hose flows and stays above ground so that you can see it freely flow away. Just some ideas. Let me know in the comments what you've experienced with dealing with frozen water in a cold climate. Take care.